All right, we got a new update on the Jonathan Kuminga saga that's currently taking place right now. Let's see what they're talking about. He apparently thinks he's at the Cade Cunningham, Scottie Barnes level, where he should get that type of contract. It's really a quandary. I think it's bad for the Warriors and bad for him. And I have to say, I don't necessarily agree with it being bad for the Warriors. I think a lot of this fault falls directly on Jonathan Kuminga because I think this might be delusion at its finest. I've been on the board with you and what you've been trying to get accomplished this summer in terms of negotiations with the Warriors or signing trades. I've been on your side. This I can't get behind because this I understand the thought process though, because probably going into the league, you're looking at these guys sort of as peers of what you could potentially do on the court. And I think what you've done up to date doesn't warrant you being in these conversations. Those guys have accomplished more in the NBA statistically, which is why they have the contracts they currently have. You don't fall into that category, sir. You still got more work to do. I'm not saying I don't believe in you. I still believe in you as a player. But this comparison is not fair at all. That is not the ballpark for what you're currently at. And I'm not saying you can't be there, but if that's the type of deal you're trying to get, go ahead and accept that qualifying offer. Bet on yourself and try to get it next year. Because no, you're not going to get that. I'm sorry that like those guys are proven. You still have work to do. But now, am I going to put 100% of the blame on you? I can't do that because I know the Warriors are equally at fault for that as well because they've done a terrible job with developing you. Not just you, period. A bunch of the young guys that they've drafted in this whole Steph Curry era, they haven't really been good with player development, period. So they do get some blame for that. Also, the short leash that was specifically catered to you in terms of other players that were drafted after you that had somewhat more of a longer leash with Steve Kerr. So you were in the coach's doghouse at some points for the past couple of years, which is why you haven't been able to show your talent. And you can go through, get all these DMPs, and then when they throw you in the playoffs, everyone's questioning and saying, where has this been? That's you and the coach's issue, which is I understand, which is why you're even trying to leave to begin with. Your future does not reside there. You need to go to a new location. But as far as this comparison, I hope this report is not accurate. And I hope it's clickbait or it's a lie and it's not true. Because I just don't believe that that is a realistic thought that you have of yourself, knowing what those two guys have done so far. Scottie is not on the level of Cade, but they're both on another tier than what Jonathan Kuminga has currently showed us. Jonathan, you got some work to do if that's the type of contract you're trying to aspire for, because I currently don't agree with it. Those are not your peers. Can they be? Yes, because potential-wise, you still do have somewhat of a similar potential to what those players' ceilings are. Are you going to reach that? That's to be determined. But currently, I don't agree with this comparison, and we need to do better. We'll see what happens.